Time, we were going to call the meeting to order. Could we pause to seek guidance, please? Now, could we have adoption of the agenda? Is there any additions or deletions?
I'll move for adoption.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. The next, we're supposed to have a presentation on open spaces from Jeff Sunderland, Bob Powell, and George Manzer. George is ill, so he will not be here. So Jeff?
At this time, Council, I know the report was rather lengthy. In the absence of one of our presenters, I am fully prepared to present with some support from Bob, or we can delay the presentation until Councillor Manzer returns and ensure that the consultant is on site to present either at our council meeting this month or committee of the whole in February.
I think that's probably the better idea with the consultant here, so we can ask him questions as well. I do appreciate that you've come, but I mean it was long. I mean, no offense.
I read it 3 times.
I didn't read it 3 times. I had a hard enough time going through it once, and I thought it was very, very well done.
Fantastic.
But to hear it, I think all 3, and George being sick today, I mean, he did not pick to be ill, and I think we should have the consultant. I'm going to ask Bob. Bob, I know you're from Bridgetown.
So you better leave now before the roads get icy.
That's probably true.
Okay, so is that by consensus okay
Yes.
with everyone? So we will, which would you prefer, when can the consultant come?
I'm waiting to hear back.
Okay, whatever date he will pick, we will go along with. Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay.
I was kind of excited to talk about this one. I found it pretty interesting.
I know, but I think we should have the
Of
consultant
course.
too.
But
Down to 2 is not fair.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Is this a public document yet? Can the public have access to it?
Anything that is as a presentation, no, they can't have access to the document yet. They can have access to the presentation until it's been approved.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to see it, they could look at it?
No, not yet, can they? It's not.
Well, I guess it's
Well, the
council's. It hasn't been presented to council yet, and council's
Right,
the one
okay.
that had requested the study. So I think, I mean, you've all had it electronically. I mean, it's certainly up to council. If you want to distribute it.
Well, I was just wondering, like, what we've been given as part of our package, and I take that to be a public document, so
That part would be, you're right.
So, I guess my point is,
If anyone wants
someone,
that, they can have a copy
anybody
of
that's
it.
here wants to have
You're
a
right.
copy of it, they could have a copy of it. It's
We
not
have-
been
we
it's
just
not been
have it
approved.
electronic.
It's in draft form.
Well,
It
we
is.
only have it electronically in a
Yes,
draft.
right.
yeah, definitely.
Jim, Bob, I'm sorry. I don't know why I called you Jim. Oh, okay.
Warren Gregory, there's, and maybe CAO or deputy CAO, Lynn has advised you, there's 1 page on that that should be done.
Do you know which page that is?
That will be, okay, if that's not public, we will make sure that's not public. They will,
It only, it concerns property, so.
Okay.
yeah, that's right. That makes sense. Okay. Thank you, and thank you.
So I guess in terms of anybody wants an electronic copy, can contact Jeff, and he can email it to you. That's the best way to do it.
With the page missing. And
And
I
well, and the
apologize if anyone just came for that, but we have an exciting rest of the meeting if you'd like to stay.
And actually,
correspondence.
what we can offer to do is let them know. Yeah.
And we
Please
will,
come back. You know.
and we will let you know when the next meeting is
So
for this.
We'll
so that-
inform you directly.
So that you will know that you will, so, okay. Sorry
Yeah,
about
later.
this.
Whole cream soda.
Okay, there is no dangerous and unsightly, so our next is the approval of the minutes of December the 8th, Committee of the Whole.
No changes and I'm second.
So moved.
There is none. Is there a seconder?
Oh, excuse me.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Now, old business or business arising from those minutes? Counselor,
Thank you.
Counselor Adams?
No.
Deputy Warden? Okay. That was easy.
Oh, wait a minute, old business?
Yes.
Okay, I do still have one thing I wanted to
Okay.
ask.
Go ahead.
I know that in the package, it says we're going to bring up about the crosswalk lights or some lighting with DOT when we meet with them, but have we heard anything at all?
Not a word.
Not a word, okay. Because
That's-
this
And
been
did
going...
you notice that now most of the paint is off of that sidewalk too?
Yeah,
And it's, I mean, it's
All
horrible
painting, yeah.
that we do not have lights yet. I mean, we're not, this is months.
I know. That's,
Ah.
It
that's
will
why...
soon be a year.
It's scary because I stopped to let someone go, and I was petrified the person behind me was going to rear end me, because, you know, like, I didn't stop suddenly, I slowed down, but if they're not paying attention,
One thing I was going to ask is if we can't get this resolved pretty soon, that if there's any way possible that we can have an additional street light put right above that crosswalk. And I know it may not be an easy fix, but there's got to be some lighting there somehow, because someone's going to get hurt.
Oh, I know.
It would be an awful shame that doing that for safety and it ends up, the repercussions are that somebody gets hurt because of it.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
So
That's a good idea. Do you know how they're doing on the lighting? I know they're supposed to be,
Terry's been out with the commissioning of the generator, and I haven't had a chance to get an update from him.
Oh,
And I
okay.
don't know if there's an update in his report. I know they were to come back in January.
yeah, I knew they were, but I
There's
Whether
a-
or not
there's a
they've-
how much they've spent so far
Yeah,
in here.
but-
Yeah, but I don't know if they've actually, I can follow
Okay.
up with Terry tomorrow.
So I was sort of wondering, because when I was down there at Bloomfield Road, there's never been a light installed yet.
No, I know there's,
Okay. All right. Under new business, DRHS, Terry Fox Center funding request. What would we like to do, people?
and this is actually, the request is from 2 students.
I'm listening.
okay.
I'm just trying to find I've lost my thing.
Yeah, I think this is a good initiative of funding that we would provide through the school programs, and that where there's 2 students, we give, what is it, 250, up
The
to
maximum is $250
250
per
per student. So I'm going to make a motion that we give a contribution of $500 to these 2 students, $250 each, to assist them to participate in the Encounters with Canada program for the Terry Fox Center in Ottawa.
I'll second.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a second? Oh,
I'll second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried.
There-
Aquaculture
Can I
letter.
ask, can I
Oh, I'm
ask one?
sorry.
I was just going to ask one more thing, though. In the letter that goes to them saying that we're going to do this, is there any way that we can ask them to come and do a presentation to council afterwards, just so we know what they, you know, what they got
Of
out of
course.
it?
Experience.
Hmm.
I can't find my package that I had. I had it on the weekend. I just couldn't find it at first. I had it on the weekend because I went through it. Actually, I was he's in Maritza with some of the stuff that was in it. There, back. Okay, the next is the aquaculture letter, Municipality of Shelburne. I am actually going to be meeting with Jeff Nickerson and Murray Hill this week. And I think it's to probably discuss what Shelburne has done. I really think we need a lot more information. I know they've told me there's because the province is just not doing anything, that they have not been able to put our feed plant in here. Because, I mean, if we needed to give them assistance, I would hope we would to its jobs. Yes.
I think that Shelburne County did a very good job in this letter, because they're not just saying, let's bring it in at all costs, because they're not doing that. They're saying they want it to make sure it's sustainable, and they're making sure that it's not harmful, but they still see the value of that industry for rural Nova Scotia. And I would hope that through the province, the provincial government, through the Ivany report, has been basically told they've got to do something to help rural Nova Scotia. But there's got to be, there's got to be stipulations in place that you can't harm the environment as well. So it would be good to have a letter go in concurrence with the letter that Shelburne has sent, also from our council to the government, just asking, what's the status, where are they on this? Because, this is holding up growth in our municipality. And I like this letter. I read it yesterday afternoon, and I felt that they weren't just asking the government just come and do it.
No.
They were very, very conscious of making sure that it's done responsibly. And so I'd like to make a motion that we also contact the government through written form.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. What I am going to do, though, before we send out that letter, I want to meet with Jeff, and because we may want to add on. Wouldn't that be the better way?
Well, no, not necessarily, because you're supporting their industry, but
Okay.
Otherwise you're going to be looking as you're lobbying for a company.
Okay. And I don't want to lobby for a company. I
But
want them to look at the feed plant.
No.
Okay.
So
Okay. No, we will get that ready. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, just my thoughts on this is decisions get rid of uncertainty, and there's a lot of people with a lot of hopes and the new regulations, and I don't see what the huge holdup is. I'm on a different side than you guys generally, but I do like them getting to a decision. And also, Linda, I just wanted to remind, did you have a chance to talk to anybody about the salmon pens that are just left?
I'm meeting with them this week.
Okay, please, just
Oh, no,
wanted to remind me.
that's on my agenda.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, because I only mentioned it to you in passing. I just wanted to remind you, because I have a couple people who've asked me to pursue that.
No, I'm meeting with them. It may be tomorrow now instead of Wednesday, but
All right, if you wouldn't mind, shoot me an email. I'll be here tomorrow anyway. Not at that.
no, because we're not meeting here, but, okay.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down.
Oh,
Just
you're
had a-
writing it down. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Excuse me.
Yeah, we voted on the motion. Okay, the next is the toll roads. Why can't I get that to come up? So that's what I was doing the other day when I was reading it. Didn't scroll. I scrolled, but didn't scroll. Okay. Now, they're looking at that they think there should be tolls put on the road to help pay. May I give my own personal
you
comment?
start first. You're the
I'll
warden.
start if you guys don't mind. I feel we pay taxes,
Yeah.
and that's what our taxes are for. I don't think we need tolls to make twinning happen, but that's my own personal opinion.
No.
Go
I'll
ahead,
make,
Jimmy.
I'll make my comments. I think if you want to see the highways completed in this province in a time when we can still use them, you're going to have to consider a toll. Because, for example, the piece from Digby, or from Marshalltown to Weymouth North, is the price tag not in the 110 to 130 range to complete that project?
110.
Okay. That's at today's dollars. That's it. They started the project and send out the contract right now. By the time they get ready to do that road and finish that road and complete the road, it's going to be probably 200
If they
million.
lower the gas tax, I'd have no problem.
But it's based on like this.
Raise it.
A toll is based on the fact it's a user pay, and it's not the only option. You still have the option to drive on the other road for free if you don't want to drive on that road. And for example,
You're saying on the toll, it's on the twinned highway itself.
the toll is
Because right
only.
now, the way I read that, if you wanted a twinned highway,
Hmm.
and you're driving on the 101, you're going to hit a toll to help pay for that twin.
I'm talking about any new construction. So, for example, this letter was referring to a piece of road up in Antigonish County, I
Yes.
believe.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, that's not even what I would consider to be limited access, because you can turn off. It's not pure. It's not like driving up through the valley where you have to turn off to, access services. This road going up through Antigonish, like through Barney's River and that, you're pulling over, there's a gas station right there type thing. It's still kind of an old highway,
Mm-hmm.
and they're looking to have road improvements done to cut back on accidents.
They want twinning though. That's
They-
what they're
they-
talking.
they're
That
asking-
to me is on the road you're on now, not on the twinned,
Yeah.
because they want to get the money.
It'd be both.
So in other words, it would be the same as putting, to me, maybe I misread this, it would be the same as putting a toll. As you came out of Digby to go to Weymouth, you put a toll in. When you came from Weymouth to come to Digby, you'd pay a toll. I have a problem with that.
No, but I'm saying on the new road construction, say for example you wanted to go to Weymouth, you could still go down to Weymouth on the number 1 highway and drive 90 kilometers an hour until you get to Barton and go down to 80 and then go back up to 90, and you can still be down there for free. If you want to travel down there on the finished completed 100 series highway,
If it's a twin.
no, it doesn't.
No, that's what they're saying. If it's a
Twinning's
twin.
different, I think.
I know, but I'm saying any new road construction in Nova Scotia, let me back up. The government has only so much funds to spend on roads, and they prioritize where they spend that. They've announced phase 1 for here. When do you feel phase 2 is going to get started? Because
When do I feel? They
Yeah.
told us in 12 years that will be all totally done,
in 12 years.
in 12 years.
So
So they're saying from now until 12 years was up from last year, it will be done.
the only problem I have with any commitments like that, government can change every 4.
Yeah,
So-
government can change it if you twin, but if you're not twinning it, that's what they're talking about is here in this letter is twinning.
Yeah, I understand that.
But
But-
and that's fine, I respect your opinion.
But I guess, I don't want to pay any more than anybody else, but the fact is, in reality, to get any work done around this province, and with any new road construction, where's the money going to come from? They just don't have it.
Yeah,
And
but the taxpayer doesn't have it either.
then we won't have these roads. That's what it boils down to.
Well, like I said, they want more twinning, and I can understand that, but I think you gotta complete what you got before you twin.
But I think instead, and we're missing the point. One point is the fact that there are some roads where there's been a high accident mortality rate, and they really need to do something to make those roads safer. Now, twinning may not have to be the option. They may have to lower the speed limit. They may have to put more police enforcement. Because remember in the valley there a few years ago when they had a lot of accidents, and then they increased the police presence, the accident rate went way down.
But they also did some twinning, or extra lane.
Yeah, but the road itself is not the problem. It's the people driving on it.
Oh, I agree,
Oh,
I agree. What do you feel?
I don't feel like I'm an expert on toll highways. I know they're not used a lot here. They are in the States. Pretty much every new road down there is done that way in order to get the capital. The safety argument is very good, but it's a tough one for me. It's not something I can
So in
just...
other words, would you like to see a toll going down the 217?
Absolutely not, of course.
And why not? We could improve your road.
I don't know if that's the way to look at it.
We'll toll from Sandy Cove down.
They should be paying us to be driving down there at this point, how bad that road is. But
I'm tormented.
I don't think it's as simple as that.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
It isn't.
But I'm not, I don't feel like I know enough about this issue to give an informed and intelligent answer.
Okay. Jimmy and then Martha.
Well, Mirtha first, she
All
hasn't
right,
talked yet.
When I saw this, all I could think of was I want the piece between DB and Weymouth done before we even talk about supporting somebody else. I'd like to see that finished, but I understand it's a safety issue with them, and they've had accidents, and it's like that piece, it's like the 103. I mean, I can understand why they want to twin that, because they've had some terrible accidents.
They just want to complete it.
Well, that too, there's a piece that's not completed yet. I don't know what to say about,
Okay. Now, Jimmy.
I'm not trying to emphasize the fact that we should have toll roads in Nova Scotia. We already have one, and that model I don't support because that was a P3, and we'll be paying for that forever. And so if the government ever decided that they want to enter the discussions on putting in toll roads, I would like to see it done differently so that once it's paid for, that the toll goes off. But as far as us having to do anything about this letter, I think it's for information more than anything at this stage, because unless we want to write a letter ourselves expressing our concerns and our interests on road completion, I support the fact that the 100 Series Highway should be completed before they consider twinning it all, but I also know that there's certain parts of the province where there are roads that are dangerous that need to be considered. And you look at the accident rates on those roads, and that tells the tale right there. Just for example, Friday in Marshalltown, there was a tractor trailer off the road, and because of road conditions, and the car was stopped to make a left signal or to turn, and the truck couldn't stop. He had to take the ditch. And if he had been on the 100 Series Highway, that wouldn't have happened. Because there wouldn't have been no roads to turn off to.
Okay, just that there was a lot of accidents. Friday.
No, but I guess my point is, it's like you're not having someone stopping in front of you, making a turn.
You hope.
Well, where are they going to go?
the 101 was awful Friday.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful. And Saturday it wasn't any better.
I went to Bridgewater Friday, but I drove around, and it was all, like once I got to Yarmouth, it was all rain all the way down the South Shore. So.
Okay, well, thank you. The next is Dark requesting for our Hersey and Norm for host committee. As you saw, the one thing about it that I think we need to know, Norm is not a web master. He is an IT human?
An IT person, if I may.
Person, okay, all right.
I mean, I think, number one, I think allocation of staff resources is a CAO function, is a CAO responsibility. But since Bob Howe did write the letter to the ward and it's come to council, but I've had discussions with both Rob and Norm, and my recommendation is that Rob his time be allocated to attend this. It's closely related to his job function. With hosting and being responsible for the cultural and entertainment component of putting on the championship. With regard to the web development, and it's not only the development of the website, but it's also the ongoing maintenance of it and updating of it. That's not something that Norm would be comfortable doing. And I've actually I wanted to just clarify with Bob before the meeting that is exactly what they were looking for. So it's, in terms of what my recommendation would be for Rob to be given, the go-ahead, but I'm not prepared at this time to recommend Norm.
Yes, Jimmy?
A concern I had was, does Rob have the time in his work schedule to accommodate this?
Yes, he believes so. I had a discussion with him, and he realizes that full day. I mean, especially when the actual championship is going on. I mean, he'll be up there, probably the 5 days a week. But he feels he did it last time, although it was more of a piecemeal thing. He did it, I think, on his own as a volunteer. It wasn't during work hours. So.
Okay.
But I think this is something that is related to what he does, and they want to do some, put on every day some cultural He does feel that he can, and that was the first question I asked him. You know, right now, for this particular point of time, it's only like a month, you know, a monthly meeting. It'll ramp up the closer they get to the,
So could we have someone accept Linda's recommendation?
Can I,
Oh,
I just wanted to add, like, I support it as long as it doesn't, like, 'cause you take on projects like this and it can be, sometimes it can get,
to the
What?
detriment of the other.
it can be
Responsibility.
bigger than you first think it's going to be.
Mhm.
So as long as he can do it and still fulfill his other commitments that he has, then I support it. So.
Well, I think because he was involved in it last time, he knows,
What-
has a good idea of what's involved, so.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion that Rob Hersey is, that give direction to the CAO that to allocate his time to this project. Because really,
yeah, but wouldn't we just say that we are accepting the CAO's recommendation?
That's
Okay.
what I would say, because
Yep.
it should have been the CAO
That's
anyway,
fine.
in my opinion. My opinion is I agree with Linda, because this isn't even our purvey, really. Allocation of staff resources, thought,
Well, I think the fact that it comes to council and council endorses it shows that council is in support. you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
And we are anyway. I mean, we
Yeah.
very much support the championship, but this way, it sort of gives our council's endorsement of it as well.
And I think that's how they were looking at
okay,
it.
or can we just endorse Linda Fraser to?
Just give,
No,
I
no,
mean, you
we
can
just
just give
follow
direction.
Linda's-
Okay.
Recommendation,
All right, I'll second the motion.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. The next is Me to We, Cassidy Frost, funding request.
We've done this every year, since I've been here, for the Me to We. They go overseas, they raise thousands of dollars in the community, they work really hard.
It's a school function then.
Yep, the school has been doing this for years, and I believe they have posters at the school. It's a lovely program, and I will mention that a lot of the kids that go to this, when they come back, they'll come and see me and ask about how they can volunteer in the community. It really seems to, a real great influence on all the kids that who have attended this. Really wonderful. So I'd like to make a motion for $250 to be given to Cassidy Frost.
From the school.
Towards the Me to We
Yep.
program.
Is there a seconder?
So I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried.
Can I ask once again, though, that person comes to council and
Definitely.
talks to us about their experience?
Yep.
I think she might be the only one doing this year, I'm not sure. Usually there's a few, but,
There might be some from Digby, because I know there's one girl down our way that's been fundraising,
mhm.
and I think she's going to Ecuador, right?
Yeah, Ecuador, I
think she's
believe.
going there as well,
Remember?
so,
It says
Yeah,
20
yeah.
students.
yeah, so there may be some from Digby.
Mhm. It makes very good little citizens when they come back.
Well, that's
Changes
great.
them.
The next is the Chief Administrator's Officer's Report. Meeting dates and reminders, January 13th, 6 p.m. is the joint RCMP advisory. January 14th is the Age Friendly. January 19th is the Nova Scotia Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal, followed by the bylaw and policy. January 20th is the PAC. January 26th is Council. February 2nd is bylaw and policy. February the 9th is Committee of the Whole. February 10th is joint council meeting with Town of Digby. February 16th is the holiday, and February 23rd is council. I just want everyone to know I will not be attending the February 10th because I am at the FCM.
Okay.
What's that?
I will not be attending the February 10th because I'm at the FCM.
Could we not have another date so that the warden would be able to attend? Is that the only date we could get? Just asking.
Everyone's responded, so
Oh, okay. Like the
it's
people
certainly
that
up to council.
What's the agenda for the joint meeting?
RCMP,
The review?
to talk about, you know,
Just in general.
In
Just a
general,
general
the-
discussion?
welcoming committee?
welcoming committee, got it here in the email.
I think at one of the the last committee of the whole meeting, or your November committee of the whole meeting, there was a number of items council had suggested to be put on the agenda. I think you asked for Jill Balter, the
Yeah, Jill
immigration
Balter's
navigator,
going.
to attend, and our
Has
CPC
anybody,
welcoming committee.
has anybody contacted Jill yet about that?
Yes, she can come that
Okay,
day.
good.
What do you think, Linda?
It's up to council.
Do you feel like this is something particular that you absolutely must attend, or do you think the meeting can go on and you can read the minutes?
Well, you're talking about joint,
No, if there's that many people involved and they've already,
just leave it be.
All right.
I'll just vote no on stuff if I don't know anything about it. Next is the CAO update. Any questions or concerns?
I had a question for the deputy CEO. Is that the end
Yep.
here?
Go ahead.
In regards to the conversation at Tiverton, I know the answer. You haven't had any action as far as the Department of Transportation's going. So that's correct. Is there something?
No, Dan Harvey has been working and had some conversation with them, and at this time, I don't believe Department of Transportation is looking to be a partner in this project.
Yeah, I would like to add the washrooms to the next council meeting, if that's all right. Add it to the agenda.
Mushroom.
Oh, the comfort stations in Tiverton.
So, January council meeting?
Yeah. Oh,
Do you have information?
council,
Council or bylaw and policy?
bylaw and policy. Yeah, bylaw and policy. Right.
Okay.
Got new arguments. Even better. Shiny ones.
The next?
Can I ask something also
Yes,
in the
go
report?
ahead.
Under council action items, there was to explore the addition of standardized UNESCO Biosphere Reserve signage on 2 highway community identifier signs. We've been given an estimated cost of $1,300 for a standard sign.
Standalone sign,
Yeah,
So it's not attached, that's like going to be ahead of it, is it, or?
Well,
it would be a standalone sign. It wouldn't be attached to another sign. It would be just its own, on its own.
Okay.
Now, I was on the South Shore on the weekend, and when I was driving back yesterday, I saw one of these signs down there, and they look very nice. And like it's the same sign, I believe, that is in our package for as a sample, right there. And you know, I'd like to see that we consider this in our budget deliberations for the upcoming year.
and the other thing is like suggested location. Yeah, and the number of signs.
Yeah, and this time I'd like to have them in our municipality. So.
You sure? You know, Yarmouth is awfully nice, and, you know, Annapolis is it's a joke.
Okay, the next is the departmental reports. Any questions on any of them?
I just have
What?
a comment on a
Okay.
spelling.
Okay.
In the
Old
corporate
teacher.
services report, she says letters were also sent to lien holders. It should be L-I-E-N, I think, not L-E-A-N. I think.
No, it is.
Yeah,
You
makes
never
more
used to
sense.
teach English by any chance,
I
you?
did. It just makes more sense. I was reading it and I thought,
We were looking for things to lean on. Maybe they could be an aspect of the comfort station.
anyway, just.
My only question is, on the financial report of the dog, I'm trying to find it. It showed $25, said no money taken in, $25. Am I misreading that?
On which one?
I have to find it. It was the dog finance report.
Somebody paid $25?
Well, it said, there's $25 there, but it said no money, no money. I just didn't
I couldn't
understand
read
it
mine. It was sideways. Was it?
on the weekend.
See, I couldn't get it over.
Yeah.
I tried.
Or is it dog control?
Where did she see money?
See, it
No
says
money,
date.
Oh,
no
yeah.
money received, $25. I don't know if that's the year-to-date. No, year-to-date is 45.
I
Yeah, no, I don't know.
I just wanted,
Yeah, how did they get money if there was no money received?
that's all. I was just trying to figure that out, and I couldn't figure it out. So could we check on that one?
I'll follow up with Scott.
I'm sure it makes sense, it's just, I can't figure it out. Any other questions?
The youth engagement, how's that coming along, that part for, that's something maybe we should throw on the agenda for the
We're going to be doing it under a policy and bylaw.
Do it
meeting.
separate? Got it.
We canceled it last time. Well, it was too long an agenda, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah, it was late night. Okay, any updates from previous action items? Or capital project updates, any questions, concerns? If not, we will go to our correspondence. The AMANS President and Board Report, November. Mayor Warden's PVSC 2015-16 budget. PVSC IPSC announcement. Historic Gardens November and December Bloom reports. Municipality of Colchester Rural Caucus meeting. FCM response to resolution regarding Canada Post. A Town Without Poverty. Tri-County Women's Shelter and Health Coalition, thank you. TLC Animal Shelter, thank you. Municipality of Clare funding announcement for Digby-Weymouth Highway. Any questions?
Did you guys get a chance to read The Town Without Poverty?
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting, that was in the paper lately. Very interesting little blurb from the 70s, just thought I would draw attention to it. Very interesting, out of the box, minimum income. The idea is you get rid of all your social services and replace it with just a check. So you don't have to have these massive bureaucracies that cost vast amounts of money. It's kind of interesting. Sorry, just thought I'd throw that out there. It was just something that in the past I've been interested in, and I was tickled to see it on the agenda.
Okay.
Just if I may, the letter to council from Mayor Bob Taylor is in response to a letter that we had sent requesting that there would be more rural caucus meetings, because I think at the last time there wasn't enough time to discuss all the issues that were on the agenda.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see that he's receptive to looking at teleconferencing, because I raised that with Keith Hunter when he was the chair, and it's something the towns do, and I think it'll work well for us, and that we can get more people participating in the meetings. So.
Yeah, I would hope when you're saying teleconference there, we're seeing the people, just on the phone doesn't work well.
Well, some of it's going to be on the phone, because not everybody has that technology. But I don't know how that, I think we need to talk to the UNSM about this, and there's a regional meeting coming up in February. That's something that could be raised on, well, maybe it's not the appropriate place to do it.
It's a regional meeting.
It may be something that we would raise with the UNSM itself to see how they would, well, no, it shouldn't be, it should go to, back to Bob. It shouldn't go to the UNSM. They provide a support role, but they don't have anything to do with the way the meetings are run.
But certainly we can suggest that we're talking to them and that there's the opportunity for video conference for those that have the capability.
And those that don't can come in by.
You can always go to a site that has it.
That's right.
The 3 municipal units could.
Yeah.
Claire, for example,
Claire could come up
could
here.
here.
Yeah. And then, like in Yarmouth, they've got a couple. Argyll's got one, and the town of Yarmouth. Well, no, actually, no. Argyll doesn't have one, but the town of Yarmouth has one, and the municipality of Yarmouth has one. So there's enough of them around the province, but. So.
Okay. Is there anything from the gallery? And we will just take a couple-minute recess and go in camera.